And if you lost us there for a couple seconds, you should be back on there. Only lost us for a couple seconds. Believe it or not, Coach, knowing this gymnasium and knowing how tough it is to get a signal out of here, I've been really impressed with the number of bars. That doesn't mean that once in a while it'll say, oh, you think you know something there, Techie? Not yet, and it'll bump you, but should be still good here for the Blue Devils, leading 40-24 at the half. So, Coach, starting off the second half, first year of the Blue Devils, what does Andy Douglas tell his team?
Well, I mean, they've come out, man the whole time. Maybe it might be time to switch some stuff up. And, my dad used to always say when you got your foot on their throat, you got to keep pushing on it until you don't hear anything. Right now, that's where the Blue Devils, have Phillips right now. If they come out and do come out with a 10-0 run and go up, 50-24, I think the game would be about over with. So we don't want to let them jump back in, hit 2 or 3 threes, get back into the ball game.
The band playing, of course, at halftime, doing a great job. Our 5 tuba players, with 4 of them. Now this is, I'm not going here, but 4 of them have the white tubas. I only see one girl, and she doesn't get a white tuba. You may have to buy your own. Anyway, they sound great. The rest of the band sounds great. And, of course, our superintendent came to school to be the head of the music department and then worked his way up. And you know that superintendent, don't you?
I believe so.
Yeah, Todd Pettit. We thank him for all his support as well throughout the season. Jody Stanky as well, the principal, and the athletic director, Matt McClellan. Love their support and their help. Kylene Holsteiner, the new secretary in the athletic office. And Kylene married a Holsteiner, but she was Jay Ray's daughter. Jay Ray, an 81 graduate here at Blue Devil Gymnasium. Not in the gymnasium, but actually at the high school. Shout out to Jay Ray. We're ready to start off the second half. It will be Wendell Phillips basketball. Devils will come out with Ralph Wires, Dom Clay, Camden Brown, Tyler Sprick, and Keyshawn Thomas. That's the way they started the ball game. On the other side, it's Edwards, Horton. The big man gets to come back, Mapuma. He got in foul trouble early. Childs took the shot off the right side. Rebounded was Thomas. In transition, Ralph Wires runs in right to the, he went right down to the block, going one way. The guy, Mapuma, flopped the opposite way. And so Wires will be calling for the second foul, or his third foul, and the first of the second half for either team.
I thought that was a good take to the basket. I didn't think the person who took the charge squared him up.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. In the block shot by Ralph Wires. Trying to get the ball was Edwards, but Wires comes away. 3-on-1. Thomas, no good. Brown looked like he was going to dunk it, but I think he had the arm taken away by his own man. And Keyshawn turns around and puts it up. When he started to go up with that, Brown was going to go up and dunk it. And then all of a sudden, Keyshawn said, I got to make sure you're not one of the Wildcats. 42-24. Devils back in their man-to-man. Dom did a nice job of jumping out. A little late, though, and he leaned his shoulder in. Dom Clay will commit his third foul, and that's why Clay and Thomas were not in most of the second quarter, and definitely not the end of the second quarter. Second team foul against the Blue Devils. So Dom didn't get in there to get the shooting early because he got in foul trouble. Out on defense, Clay at the point. Into our 1-2-2. Tyler Sprick takes the ball away. Across the timeline in the right corner. Looked back at Sprick. Instead, Ralph goes, and then a drop pass and a dunk! Camden Brown came in from the left baseline. Ralph Wires with a bounce pass once he drew the defense, and 2 points, exclamation point.
Good ball movement by the Blue Devils and driving and kicking off.
44-24, Devils by 20. Camden Brown out at the point. Ball pass to the right side, goes down to the baseline, and the shortest guy there, he's got to go out, and it goes to Camden Brown with a steal. Brown all the way in, no. Dom Clay with a foul dunk, but you don't get those after they blow the whistle. But it was nice to know that it was there.
Well, you like to see the aggressiveness, of the Blue Devils. When they have somebody going up to the glass, there's somebody else that's coming behind that wants to finish.
Childs, his third foul. Camden Brown to the line to shoot 2. He was 4 for 4 in the first half. Make that 5 for 5. Brown will have another one. Again, the senior, remember he was out 2 years ago after a football injury. And so last year, he missed that year, and so he came back and didn't play football last year.
Well, 2020, he played 8 or 9 games as a freshman, got a little bit of time. Next year he got hurt and, missed basically the whole season. And, came back last year very well. Looks like he's completely recovered now.
Camden with 12 on the night. Shot taken there by the Wildcats. No good. Sprick picks it up. Crossover dribble, behind the back dribble now too. Pulls up, top of the key for 3. Off the right side. Hustling into the corner was Dom Clay. Camden Brown there putting a little bit of pressure in the backcourt. Edwards has come down for Edwardsville. No, Edwards for Phillips. Shot, no good. Long rebound. Keyshawn Thomas gets it to Sprick. Somebody behind him. Oh, my. That really there was not really the right call. Sprick got double teamed, one from behind. He went for a bounce pass that went off the foot of Wendell Phillips Academy, so you didn't think of Wendell Phillips. But it really just went off his foot, so it wasn't a kick, and should have stayed with the play. Probably what Coach was asking about, too. Childs with 3 fouls for Phillips. He takes a break.
Oh.
We missed Ralph Wires. He made a cut to the basket on the weak side. Devils did get it in. Sprick in the left corner, Dom on the 45 of the left side. Into Keyshawn. Oh, and cutting down, throwing the ball down, Dom Clay. Little bounce pass from the high post. Clay came down the lane, throws it down.
Nice pass by Keyshawn.
Good assist, Thomas. As the Devils scored 8 straight points, there's the first bucket there on the other side, and that was Edwards, I believe. Edwards had 6 in the first half. Ball inside. Camden Brown turns around, scores. Nice little, basically backed in, and then just went up to the basket. And Jimmy Groh, the official, whistles the foul on Tyler Sprick. His first foul of the ball game.
Keyshawn's had a very, very nice night with his assists, his passing, his rebounding, and he's thrown in, 8 points or so?
Shot on the out-of-bounds play. High arching shot off the glass, rebounded by Dom Clay. Sprick at half court, brought one of the foot over, but didn't bring the ball in the other foot. You got to bring it all 3 over first. Top of the key, Sprick. Inside, Thomas, turnaround, 12-footer. No good. Inside, Clay. And a jump ball, good call there. Even though Mopuma was behind him, both came down with it. The alternate possession area will go over to the Devils. 4:25 left in the third. 50-26. Blue Devils with the lead. Had to double check that. It just didn't seem right. They only had 2 points. In the low post. Thomas, turnaround shot with a short hook. No good, but a good look. Devils drop back in the half-court set, going man-to-man again. Lawrence Horton with the basketball, goes right side to Edwards. Back to the top of the key. Devils sticking with it. Keyshawn was in the high post, now drops back. Runs into the 1-2-2 now with Clay and Brown at the elbows. Right side Edwards for Phillips. Oh, and a good cut to the basket there on the baseline. Basically spun out of looked like a screen. And
Keyshawn's got to step up and stop that right there, being the weak side 3-row right there.
Tyler Sprick, 25 feet, back to the top of the key. Back to the left side, Wires in the corner. Dom Clay for 3. No good. Long rebound back towards Clay. Doesn't get there before Mopuma. Approaching 3 minutes and 30 seconds and counting. Left in the third quarter. Devils lead by 22. In the left corner. Comes down to Benjamin. Sprick all over him. Actually looked like he stepped on the line.
He was out of bounds before he threw the ball.
And I think it was a miss because the heel, when he laid that foot down, came and rolled and just barely caught it, but we had the best view. It was right in front of us. As we say, Jimmy Graw, John Shield, and I forgot to check the third official. We got 2 of them down, and as Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. In the set now at the top of the key. Ralph Wires up with Brown. In the middle is Sprick at the high post. Isaiah Talton is down in here in the right corner. Jimmy Latham, who just checked out, is 23 feet over on the right wing. And that's where the basketball is at. Isaiah Talton playing D with Latham on that side. Sprick alone, fronting the big Mopuma. Ball stays on the right side. Little one-on-one action. Talton comes in to help. That's a heck of a shot because Latham played some good defense, and Talton came over to help. Elijah Harris on that one. his first bucket. And that's six straight points. Say that once fast for Phillips Academy. 48-30. Check that 50-30. Sorry about that, folks. Left those 2 free throws out there earlier. In the half-court set. 2:30 left, third quarter action.
Blue Devils back into man instead of 1-2-2 now.
Phillips out. Shot taken. Nice high arching shot, but no good. Sprick has the rebound. Devils in the half-court set. Cameron Wires went down to the corner. Camden Brown. Crossover dribble. Baseline shot. No good. Weak side rebounds. The point guard, Edwards. They're bringing it down on a 3-on-2, 3-on-3. Cameron Wires keeps the ball alive. In the left corner. Shot taken. The lefty from the left corner. Michael White Jr. for a 3. And the Devils lose the ball here. And those are the tough ones to live with when you come down here and pretty well give the ball away.
Especially when Phillips has got, 6-7 points in a row now?
They are up to 9 points now in a row.
9
last
points
3.
in a row, okay.
Inside 2 minutes there.
And it could be up 12 here.
Phillips with the basketball. Wires high. Brown also out there with Talton. Louthan in the high post. And Sprick on the weak side. Driving in and picking up right away. Edwards was trying to drive in. Wires, Cameron Wires, steps in, grabs the ball. We got a jump ball and it comes back over to the Wildcats of Phillips Academy.
Cameron's been very active on both ends of the court tonight, offensively and defensively.
For the Wildcats across the free throw line extended. Triggering the ball in against the Devils. Weak side cut from one of the guards. They worried about Mopuma on the strong side. What they didn't see was Jeremiah. Foul win against Jimmy Lathan. Check that.
I think it was on Lathan.
Yeah, it was Mark. I said Jimmy, that's his dad.
Okay.
I had to double check that when I said that. So, Dad, you had a good first half when you got in there. 1:36 left in the third quarter. Second free throw, good as well.
Let's finish out this quarter here. We got 1:36 left. Let's finish the quarter and not let them get any closer now, because it was 50 to 24 maybe.
50 to 24 coming out of the half. We had 40, put up 10 straight points.
Yeah.
And back on the other side, we've got another 10, as he only made 1 of 2 free throws there and made the second free throw. So again, getting a run's one thing, but giving a run back, it deletes that one.
Yeah, I mean, you get your 10-point run, maybe give them 2, and then go on another 6-point run, then be done with it.
1:36 left in the third quarter. Glad you'd be with us. Check us out on mechasportsco.com. And we thank you to the Kunis Auto Group, Kunis Honda and Hyundai here in town. You'll be seeing them with us all season long. Not just hearing us, but you'll be seeing us pretty soon. Nice locker rooms, too, by the Blue Devils. They got new locker rooms?
Well, I haven't seen the new locker room yet.
I
know when I used to bring my kids down here, we used to go in there.
And at one time, you're on the opposite court, on this opposite side.
Yep.
Devils with the ball. Louthan from the corner. No good. Brown tries to come in the rebound. Pulled away by Wendell Phillips Academy. To Edwards out here on the left side. 24-footer. In and out. Now that one I understand, putting all your legs in and everything. That was long range and spun around the rim once. Again, also thank you to Kevin Vandement of Woodmart, as he's helping us out on the popcorn machine for you. Actually, he's right next to our hot spot. Talton, left corner. Brings it out, turns around, spins, baseline shot. Good. Rolls around the rim twice. And
good
Talton.
Solid move by Talton. Got in, got his space, and then nailed it. Ooh.
Important, he hit a 3 back in the first quarter along with a blue collar. Hasn't had one since. 52-37. 39 seconds and counting left, third quarter action. Devils with the lead. Working the right side, forward around the perimeter. Louthan pops back out to the high post.
Let's get the last shot here.
Backs it out. 15 seconds. He's getting double teamed.
Oh,
a nice little shuffle underhand to Louthan.
He wasn't ready for it. Pass.
And I don't think it might have been a problem too with did he touch it, because he turned and looked like, hey, I don't think I touched that one. 11.5 seconds left, 85 feet for Phillips Academy to bring the ball down the court. Walking it up with 10 seconds. I hope he walks it up and forgets how much time's there. 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Now he's at half court. Gets a screen to the top, brings it over. And the fadeaway comes up an air ball to end the third quarter. So after 3 quarters, the Quincy High Blue Devils 52, Phillips Academy 37. And this is Blue Devil basketball on MeccaSportsCo.com. Coach, what did you think of the third quarter?
Well, quarter of runs. Phillips came out and got 10 early, or Blue Devils got 10 early, and then Phillips came back and got 10, and we're right back where we started. From halftime. Blue Devils up by 15. I think we were up by 16 at half, if I'm not mistaken. So played them even in the third. Got to come out, and I'd love to see them come out and go do a 10-0 run. Put them away right now, and then get the rest of the bench players in to finish it off.
And sorry about that, Mark Laughlin. His dad, I think, had a birthday or something. I followed them on Facebook, and I had Jimmy in my head, and so Jimmy got the call for a few shots there. And what a Jimmy that Jimmy likes this and Jimmy likes that. That was an old Seinfeld, wasn't it?
I think so.
Talked in third person all the time. There go the Lions from Lanphier. Tomorrow night, Quincy will have Tinley Park. Lanphier will be playing Phillips Academy, so they stuck around and watch. Fourth quarter action, Devils lead 52-37. We'll have the basketball. Ralph Wires, Dom Clay, Keyshawn Thomas, Tyler Sprick, and Camden Brown as they touch the ball. That's how we went through that lineup, so the big man got an early pick. Ralph Wires goes hard to the hole. Shot no good. Ball's on the floor. Picked up by the point guard Edwards. Outlet. And an outlet and an alley-oop. And oops indeed is Lawrence Horton with a dunk. And Phillips comes out with some full court pressure. 52-39, 13 points. But it's kind of gone that way. Devils are up, and you wonder how they got up so high.
Yep.
And then quickly Phillips comes back and shortens that lead. Clay looking to Sprick on the left side behind the 45. Comes back out to Clay. Dom will shoot the three. No good. Inside, Keyshawn Thomas with a putback. Thomas playing strong again. Offensive rebound and 2. Nice drive to the basket. I believe that is Childs, sure enough. Childs with a good basket through traffic with a couple crossovers.
And
Steal by Phillips. Turnaround shot off the front of the iron and rolled in. And I believe that might have been Childs again.
Down to 11 now.
4 straight points coming from Childs. On the other side, Camden Brown in the corner.
I like to see the Blue Devils get the ball more underneath instead of, relying on the three-point shot. Get it underneath the basket, take it to the hole hard and get to right there. Oh.
Nice backdoor cut from the high post. Keyshawn Thomas tried to go to Camden Brown, a little too close to his feet. Phillips scored 2 in a row, so I guess Horton must have had that one in the quarter before. I'll have to find, it was 37. Always love when math works. I love math. That third quarter was 52-37. Phillips with the basketball. Approaching 6 minutes left in this one. Devils lead 54-43. In there 1-2-2 now with a set. Camden Brown guards the three, but it was way out there. Keyshawn Thomas gets it. Long outlet. Throws it up. Wires threw it up a little high as Brown was ready to go up and dunk it. And now Keyshawn Thomas gets back in with a defense. Good job, Keyshawn. An outlet over to Ralph Wires. And they're telling the official over here is telling, not the coach.
Assistant coach, sitting on the bench.
I don't know if it's an assistant coach. Is it a player? Yeah, it was a player that was spouting off. Foul was called against Lawrence Horton. His third personal foul for Wendell Phillips Academy. First one in the fourth quarter. I'm going to get that one down now. I actually might like this better because once they get to 5 fouls, it scrapes to the second quarter.
Yep.
So if a scoreboard operator doesn't, do the fouls, or many gyms we found we can't see it, should be a little easier. All I got to do is count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got it. So here we got 5:44 left, Coach, in the last quarter. Devils are up 54-43.
11-point game. You're a couple of threes away from being, a 2-possession game. So, Blue Devils got to be very, very careful, here the last 5:44, especially the next couple 3 minutes, not let Phillips back into the game and maybe stretch this lead out a little bit.
Glad to be with us on this Thursday night, Thanksgiving, Blue Devil Gymnasium. Well, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Childs and Clay were there to half court, and then Childs kind of flopped back a couple feet. Clay and him both, well, Clay's laughing. Wires in the backcourt. Ralph, along with Dom Clay, Camden Brown on the wings, Tyler Sprick, and Keyshawn Thomas working the post. Right side Clay, 5:30 left in the game.
I think we need to go inside to Keyshawn, and they're working inside out here.
Driving down the lane, Dom Clay. They wave it off because it was a travel, but after he got bumped, so it was a foul on Phillips Academy. Second team foul in the quarter. DeAndre Addison, his first. And we mentioned team second. Box out of bounds play for the Devils. Tyler Sprick will trigger it. Brown and Clay on the low. Screen across on the high to Thomas. He wasn't there. Picking up behind a screen is Clay. Clay's shot is no good. Thomas kept it alive. Out to Brown. Behind the arc on the right side in front of Coach Douglas.
Once again, Keyshawn very active on the glass.
Tried to make a pass across court, and the very athletic Childs caught the pass, went coast to coast for the score. He's got 6 in this quarter. 45-54, 5 minutes left. Clay's going to back it out. Devils are going to reset. He's off the left side. He's got Edwards all over him. Clay stops at the left elbow, back behind the arc to Sprick. Back to the top to reset the offense. Ralph Wires with a screen. Now passes the screen up, drives in. Ralph looks around, comes out to Sprick. Sprick at the top of the key. Right side Brown.
Good patience by the Blue Devils.
Mopuma had those first 2 fouls and was sitting. He hasn't fouled yet and actually took a charge himself. Getting physical inside. Left side Dom Clay. Good defense coming from Phillips. But using the clock up and being smart is not going to hurt the Devils with a lead. Left side Wires. Looks at the high post. He gets Keyshawn. Bounces into Clay. Clay 6 feet in front of the basket. Goes into a cutting Thomas. Missed the shot. Sprick kept it alive. Mopuma with the rebound and the outlet for Phillips down the left side.
If you get that kind of good looks all the time, you'll be okay.
Edwardsville go to the right side. Edwards goes to the right side. Shot no good. Long rebound Sprick. Sprick out to Dom Clay. Dom Clay up. And you knew it was going to be there because earlier
all Dom had to do was drop it off for an easy layup.
Right.
But, it was mano a mano. I'm going to dunk on you. You ain't.
Exactly.
It's what it was.
And Dom really, is a good take. But on that one, like you said, you got a 2-on-1, you got a trailer on the opposite side. Just go up and drop the ball down on the floor and let it bounce over to him. On that foul
It'd have been an easy layup.
Yep. Good news on that one. Horton, his 4th foul. And Horton, again, had 9 in the first quarter, 4 more, so he had 13. He had a 3 in the third, so he's got 16. So having him sit is a good thing. Dom will hit 1 of 2 for the Devils.
Stretches lead back out to 10.
And finally broke into that little 6-point run by Wendell Phillips. Inside 4 minutes left in the ball game. Devils in their half-court set. Camden Wires in. Sprick came to help, but came a little late and then decided not to make contact, but it was too late. That's when you bring the arm and everything down and force them to go to the line and make 2.
Well, he got too far underneath the basket and was trying to take the charge. You have to make sure you get outside the lane and make sure your weak side help outside the lane. and make it to where it's not that easy to go to the hole.
He's a pesky little guy out there, Amari Edwards. He has a 3 there. He's got 11 for the ball game, but more importantly, he really kind of gets in there and throws a wrench in the works. He's a good defensive ball player.
And we're down to 7-point game here with 3:39. So Wendell Phillips has got back into the ball game here in the last 3-4 minutes.
One more foul, they'll be in the double bonus the rest of the way out. They have 4. That's Wendell Phillips, and that's 4 on Childs. So Childs with 4 fouls.
And they stole it.
Ball tipped, and Childs got it. Shot from the left corner. 3-pointer is good. Horton hits the 3-pointer and a quick timeout by the Wildcats. So we're getting down to a little pressure point. 55-51. Childs has 4. Horton has 4. Those guys have been the guys shooting from outside in the second half and scoring. So having either one of those guys out would be nice.
Well, and the Blue Devils have gotten a little sloppy, handling the basketball here at the end. And Phillips has been going full court, not man, but they're pressuring it to get in, and then they're trapping, and, the Blue Devils have not handled the pressure very well.
Second half, I tell you what, Wendell Phillips has done a good job. We talked about starting the third quarter. The Devils scored the first 10. Then all of a sudden a 10-point run from Phillips Academy. We get a bucket, they get a bucket, and they get a 3, and we end the third quarter 52-35. So we started the quarter off up 16, and we're up 17. Fourth quarter then, though, after trading buckets, it was that 6-point run by Phillips. We get a 1 free throw, and they've gone on another 6-point run. So in that, they've had a 12-3 run on us in the fourth. 3:33 on the board.
And once again, you look at possession by possession. Clay trying to dunk on the kid, blocked it. We've had some good looks. Here we go, finish.
Thomas Strong against Mopuma. Thomas now with 6 in this half. He had 7 in the first. He's got 13. More importantly, it cut into the run, gives the Devils a 6-point lead. Devils man-to-man. Cameron Wires pushes to the left, to the right, Clay was over there. Sprick's on that side as well. Thomas is down low. Camden Brown out high as well.
Looks like they're in their 1-2-2 now.
With Sprick or Thomas coming up to that high post when the ball goes the other way. 3-pointer by Edwards. And again, everything, energy he's got to get it there. Timeout taken, a good time because the Devils are having a tough time down on this end getting the ball down court. 2:49, Quincy 57, Phillips 54.
That was a tough shot here. I mean, because, Cameron Wires was out there, challenged it. What a shot by the Phillips kid.
Band is getting to go. I tell you, when you get that big lead out there and you feel a little comfortable, but this kind of a team has the ability to come back. But boy, when you got up to 50 to 40, 24.
Yeah, oh yeah. We were up by 26, probably 2-3 minutes into the third quarter, and Phillips has fought back and, hitting shots. We've gotten a little sloppy with the ball, trying to get too cutesy, so to speak, and not finishing plays, like we did in the first half and first 3 minutes of the third quarter.
Second half, we've been outscored 30-7. Full court pressure being applied. 3 up high, so somebody's got to be deep. Cameron Wires gets it across on the left side. Dribbles through. Sprick. Oh, and he finds Thomas down on the weak side block.
Yeah.
Good job by Thomas. Gives a little head fake and a great pass and assist by Sprick.
Good, strong move by Keyshawn underneath the basket.
Top of the key, Mopuma.
Big guy.
No good. Thomas gets the rebound. Ralph Wires with the basketball. Ralph drives. Nobody's going to pick him up. Up, under. Good. Ralph Wires takes it to the hole. You love to see that. If nobody's going to stop you, keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Put the foot on the gas. Top of the key, Cameron Wires doing a good job on defense against Edwards. Edwards gets it up. Tyler Sprick came over. I'm not sure if Sprick or Wires popped him in the head. That was the official look there. I think Cameron Wires is going to be whistled for the foul.
Good defense by the Blue Devils made it really, really hard, for the Phillips guy to get to the basket and score.
For Camden, it was his first personal foul. I got the first foul in the fourth quarter by the Devils. Could that be right?
They say they got 2 up there. But
all right, then I got 2 down here. I did pass up one possibly. Edwards at the line. He made the first one. Edwards will have a second. Devils putting 4 guys in the line. And hits 2 for 2. Edwards with 8 in this quarter. 61-56. Devils beat the pressure. And Sprick was going to have a wide open Thomas under the basket on a 2-on-none. And instead of trying to make that pass, he said, I'm going to take it all the way to myself because the minute you throw a pass, it's a possibility of turning it over. Devils back on defense. Edwards with the ball on the left side. Dangerous wherever he's at. Back to the top of the key. Childs no good for a 3. Bounces on the strong side. Rebound. Nice spin move inside on the baseline. That shot was Horton with that move. On the other end. All the way to the hole. Who is it? Ralph Wires. If you're not going to pick him up, he's going to take it to you. 65-58. 120. Thomas has the basketball for the Blue Devils.
Pull it out. Make him come guard you now.
We've
Shoot
got
layups.
70 seconds left in this one. They
Shoot
go down
layups.
to Thomas. Thomas, strong move. Camden Brown, weak side. Had a hold of it, but tipped out of bounds by Childs. So with 1:07 left, Devils will have it under their own basket. Up by 7.
Still not out of the woods yet, but, if we can get a bucket here, I like our chances.
Sprick to trigger it in. Inside is Camden Brown and also Thomas. Brown had to go to the backcourt to get it.
Don't be sloppy with the ball.
Yes, and there it was. It was tipped out by Edwards. You cannot get anywhere sloppy around Edwards.
No.
Really a tenacious little guard.
Well, Phillips got a good little ball club. Well, I can see why they beat Proviso East.
In the backcourt, Cameron Wires. Working it up to half court. Good defense coming out of the Wildcats. That's Childs trying not to foul. It'd be his last of the ball game. Inside 1 minute.
Bring it out, guys.
Camden Brown drove into the lane, brought it back out.
Bring it out.
That's Coach Pettit. Of course, he's in his coaching mode.
Well, your friend is the clock. Keep it running.
Foul on the far side. We had Horton over there. I see Benjamin. No. I had Horton up there now for 2. I already had him for, 4 fouls. At the line, though, Ralph Wires hits the first free throw. Of course, it's a double bonus now for the Devils. And Wires connects on the second. He's got 6 points in this quarter. 6 key points. In the half-court defensive set, Sprick tried to take a charge. And, of course, the Wildcats looking, saying, Edwards, what do you mean? Threw it back out top, out of bounds. And there's a couple of the Q&D Raiders. Lunt and Gittenbacher ready for tomorrow night. Devils inside. Thomas strong to the basket. Good. Keyshawn Thomas gets the bucket. Good handoff on that. I couldn't tell who made the assist. 21 seconds left. Devils 69-58. Still not done. Got to play good D, and that's where Ralph Wires is. Top of the key, works right side. Long 24-footer, no good. Long rebound. Tyler Sprick knees the ball over to Keyshawn Thomas. Down to 5 seconds, counting it down. And the Devils are going to open up the Thanksgiving tournament with a big victory. And the best thing about the victory, they got punched a couple times, they got back up. And it was one of those where even though it was an unbelievable comeback in the second half by Phillips, the Devils never got too shook. And the last couple minutes, Ralph Wires showed you right there, when the ball needs to be in somebody's hands, give it to me. And with his speed, he got down to the basket a couple times, got the ball dished off to guys, and we really fed the ball well to Keyshawn Thomas tonight.
I mean, you had, several Blue Devils step up, which that's what they're going to have to do, without, Bradley Longcourt. They're going to have to, get other contributions, from the other guys out there, which they did tonight. And very good win for the Blue Devils tonight against a quality opponent.
Well, as we said there, if you've heard without Bradley Loncourt, if you didn't hear his name called out through the quarter, hello, Jeff Purdy again in the gymnasium. It's because Bradley's out. He had, and somewhere in that range, and so it's good to work without him in the lineup. Gives the Devils a chance to work without Loncourt, but we'll be ready to invite him back.
Well, and once again, we don't want him to come back too soon. We want him healthy, ready to compete, and lead these Blue Devils to, God, I hate to say it, but the promised land, which first of all is the Western Big Six Championship, and then regional, sectional, and let's go. But we want him completely healthy, ready to go. Don't bring him back too soon, because if he re-injures it, you could have a longer wait until.
Well, somebody will be next man up to be able to step into that spot and be ready to go. So
well, and you saw Keyshawn stepping up tonight. You saw both of the Wires boys, I thought, played very well tonight. Defensively, offensively, taking care of the basketball. Camden Brown, he's going to be a load, the whole year. It was good to see the Blue Devils come out and beat a very good team tonight.
As I sit here and break down my stats on this ball game, good tonight there, Coach.
Very good crowd tonight. Thanksgiving night, nobody else is playing anywhere else, so usually the Blue Devil fans come out on Thanksgiving night after they've had their fill of Thanksgiving turkey, the dressing, the mashed taters, that sort of stuff. Good crowd tonight, great crowd tonight. They filled up the stands, and I expect Saturday night when we get back out here, exact same thing, probably a little bit more.
Well, here's the way the game went tonight. We started off with the Devils with a good quarter, although coming back late in that first quarter, Phillips Academy did a good job of bringing it to an 18-16 game, Devils with the lead. Second quarter, Devils picked it up at halftime, led 40-24, nice 16-point lead. We talk about them building that lead up to 26 points in the third quarter, and then boom, right after that, Wendell Phillips came back and just kept putting the pressure. We made mistakes and ended up the quarter only up 52-37 by 15, but then the fourth quarter got a little hairy too, as the Devils would have a bucket and a free throw, but they would turn around and give up 8 points for Wendell Phillips. Phillips would score another 6 points. Devils, though, leading 57-54. 3 good shots, 63-54. We'd give up the, that might have been called a 2-pointer, and that's why I can't find that extra point. I've got 58 on both. I'll double-check that then. But then the Devils came back with the last 6 points, winning 69-58. Of course, we'll have Coach up here once he gets done talking to his team. I'll break down your scoring first of all. We'll also talk about the rest of the games we're going to be at the rest of the weekend. For the Quincy High Blue Devils, now 1-0. Ralph Wires had 18 points. The 6 in the fourth quarter was so key, and taking over, running the team in those last minutes. 17 points out of Keyshawn Thomas. 12 points gives 3 of the Devils a double digits. Camden had 12 points. 5 points from Dom Clay. 2 buckets and a free throw. Dropped down to 4 points out of Isaiah Talton. Also a bucket from Jarius Rice. And we got 1 free throw by Cameron Wires, and that is your 69 points. On the other side, 1-1 now is Phillips Academy. They were led in scoring 21 points by Lawrence Horton. 16 out of Mari Edwards. Edwards did so much, 16 points, assist, firing every energy on every shot. He got it done tonight for them. 37 points between Horton and Edwards. In single digits, 6 points is Phoenix Childs. Did a good job of not fouling out, as he had those fouls early and in the first half as well. 5 points from Jeremiah Benjamin. 3 points from Michael White Jr. And then 3 guys had a bucket, Elijah Harris, as well as Claude Mopuma. And he's the big guy that got in foul early and had to sit. Came back out, even though he didn't score, made a little presence himself. But then he only ended up with 2 points. And then Cordell Broughton with 2 points as well. I got him in the book at 58, although I think that one comes up to 57. So I'll be home doing my math because that will drive me nuts. Luckily, it was on their side, not our side. So the Devils with the first big victory. And when we get a chance to talk to Coach Douglas, we'll also break down at the end of it our player of the game for our first game of the season. So tomorrow night here at Blue Devil Gymnasium, we will have Springfield Lanphier taking on this Wendell Phillips. That'll be a good ball game.
That'll be a really good ball game.
And then Quincy High, of course, will play Tinley Park. We will be across town at the pit for the girls' game and the boys' game. Girls play Alton Catholic.
Althoff
Catholic.
Yep.
Yeah. Once I getting used to that, Althoff Catholic and Alleman Catholic, I can maybe get where they actually are from.
Yep.
So, and then of course the backup game for that night, or the second game, is the QND Raiders. As we mentioned, Ginnebacher and Lund out here checking it all out. That'll be the second game out at the pit, and then on Saturday, early afternoon game, 1:30 or 2 o'clock. Coach, I can't. It might be 2.
I think it's 2 o'clock.
I think you're right. And let's get this one right. It'll be the Quincy Blue Devils from the girls' side against Althoff Catholic.
14.
And so, and then of course that night, Saturday night, we'll wrap up. You'll have Hall of Fame out on the other end of town. We talked about it on Tuesday, but we will break it down on Friday as well, give you who's going in the Hall of Fame. And then same way here on Saturday night, we'll give you the Hall of Famers here as well. I know I saw Chris O'Connell going in, and if he was a great golfer and has been in the golf business, he carried the bag for Peter Jacobson, D.A. Weibring, and a couple guys, and got hooked up with Jacobson and the market. He's in Texas still. Can't remember the company he's with. Don't worry, I'll have that for you on Saturday night. So what's your thoughts there, Coach, on you mentioned the victory. Get home, get a little rest.
Well, usually, when the Blue Devils set up their Thanksgiving tournament, they have their probably easiest opponent is the first night. Tonight, this is not the easiest opponent, in this thing. And this tournament with Lanphier, with Phillips, you've got some talent up here that's going to go on to the next level and play college basketball.
And that's what you want to see. I mean, I know that all the teams try to schedule their best opponent. And of course, famous, familiar faces here. The Zanger family is out here tonight, and the Hollensteiner family as well. Speaking of, well, I was going to ask Mr. Hollensteiner a question. We'll save that for a little bit later. So, great fans out here. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. You can go home now and relax a little bit. The Winters are sitting out here, and Dick's got a pretty good relax mode on the visiting bench with the foamed seats.
Oh, yeah.
Been around for a while. He has been here since, 1957, 59?
Well, he was on the desk there when I played. So.
Oh, yeah, and that was after he already almost put in 20 years.
Well,
so
yeah.
I always had that in my head, and now as we get years later, it's like, all right, what century did you come from? and of course, he's also over at the Hawks at Memorial Gymnasium.
Yep, a big-time contributor, before this season is over. And the two freshman gals that are starting, gosh, they're a load right now. So, I'm imagining next couple of years when they get stronger, when they get, work on their game a little bit, they're going to be very, very good.
Well, if you remember that first year, too, Loncourt and Clay and Thomas set the freshman. Loncourt set the freshman scoring. The other two guys were right behind him.
Well, where's it at?
I don't think we have a freshman list up there.
We don't have the freshman list up there anymore?
No, that is all.
But yeah, I think we got 1, 3, and 5 or 6, with those three guys. So, and I tell you what, Keyshawn Thomas looked very, very good tonight. He's lost a little bit, of that, baby fat, so to speak, and he looks a lot trimmer, a lot more explosive. He's going to be a load this year. Especially underneath the basket. And with him being as unselfish as he is, he catches it down there. They start double teaming and whatever. He's more than happy to kick it out for the wide open three because he's going to be down there banging on the boards because, I bet tonight, he had 12, 14 rebounds along with those 17 points. I thought he did a heck of a job. Especially he set the tone at the beginning of the night, taking those 2 charges. And, from there, Blue Devils took care of business.
Sorry about that, Coach. I'm kind of working on setting up a third headset so we don't have to have Coach switching our headsets, and so I'm being the master of technology here again. I won't say that too many times because about the time I say it, that's when technology will say, no, you will not. It's not that easy. So, well, I'm so glad to be out here for our first Blue Devil game, get it in the books at home, and get a good look at the Devils and see where we're at. And I think everybody's got to be happy. Now, again, coaches still, as coaches, and we know, we've been there, games like this, you may say, I'm happy that we've won, but, boy, we got some stuff to work on.
Well, the way I look at this game is, you're playing without your key cog, okay? And you come out here and you beat a team that just beat Proviso East without your main guy out there, because let's face it, Longcore handles the ball, he makes the good passes, he makes the key shots. They did a great job tonight without him, and I think as we go on in the season, if he misses, a couple, 3 weeks or whatever, these kids are going to be so much better when he comes back, and the team will, hit the ground running because of the way he plays. So, I think it's good for them to be without him for a little bit, because I think they're going to do nothing but get better. And then once he comes back, this will be a very dangerous team, come, Christmas time and or past Christmas time.
Well, as I talked to Coach Dance in one of our pre-games, we talked about the freshman team being so successful, but he reminds us that the Chicago teams and a lot of teams don't play at the junior high level. So while, it was great, be proud of what you've accomplished. Don't just assume, as so many people always do, and you know how this is.
You got to keep working.
Yeah, they keep telling you that, well, if you were great in 8th grade, we expect to be at the state tournament all these other years. Well, there's a lot of difference who grew, who didn't grow. All the schools that will get into the postseason that aren't normally in the postseason, there's a whole lot of difference between 8th grade and varsity basketball.
Well, and we watched, Miss Longcore play against, the O'Fallon team, and the O'Fallon team, very physical, very, they bodied up and made it tough for her to do what she usually does. So, once again, the freshman girls got a lot of work to do. God, I love what you see, right now, and if they keep developing and doing what they've been doing, they'll be fine.
I talked to Coach Ryan Brown before the ball game, and Camden was there as well, and I kind of joked that we had joked about, Jada and her taking it to the 6'2" and 6'4" girl, and we're not afraid of it. I was reminded that she did play summer ball, but she's 14 and was playing up in the 16s. She was already used to banging with some bigger, more talented players, and he said, listen, she's ready for it. And then, of course, we talk about the backyard playing 21 between, the family. And, I said, don't worry, when we see somebody with a black eye, and it's not Jada, we know somebody else has one in the family. And Dad would probably rather have it be him than Camden. I hate to see him come out here and not be able to bring an eye close.
Well,
Good stuff, though. Well, we're just waiting for Coach Douglas here in the postgame for MeccaSportsCo.com. As we mentioned, stick with us all season long. Devils should be fun, as well as the Blue Devil girls team. And this, on the other side, Lady Raiders had a heck of a game the other night, put a lot of pressure out on Keokuk, who was a pretty good-looking ball team. So they've already shown it. We've not seen one team, and that's the Raiders, and they graduated a heck of a squad. Hoyt, Sheffield, Wallingford, Canoyer. I know I missed somebody there, but and of course Wallingford is better again. But we knew this when they were in the postseason. The team that was in that sectional went on to state. So you look at that and you go, listen, we win there and followed the path of BCC, I believe it was. We would have been there. So that's a tough one, but they looked good and they really had a fun season, and now have to reload.
Well, it's one of those things to where you teach the fundamentals, you start them early, which they do that out there, Notre Dame, kind of like what the Blue Devils do here. They're teaching fundamentals when they're, 4th, 5th grade, and learning and going to the camps and coming out to the games. And, basically, on that side of town, they bleed, the Raider gold. And on this side of town, we bleed the Blue Devil blue. And, like I looked at, God, the Blue Devils have now 2,105 wins. I think the Lady Raiders are pushing 1,000. And I think the boys are 1,500 plus. The only one I haven't got so far is the Raider girl or the Blue Devil girls, and I think I got about 320 from them. But that's not counting back. When my sister played, when you had Penny Lewis, when you had Terry Welper, when you had those group of girls, because guaranteed they were getting 18 to 20 wins, a year with that group. So I mean the Blue Devil girls might be up close 500. So with the 4 teams that we have, gosh, you got over 4,000 wins, in a town of 40,000 people.
Hey, we're the mecca of high school basketball.
That's, that's the way I look at this. It's, a small town. What's going on?
As Coach Douglas comes on. Coach, you got us on the headset?
Gotcha.
All right, done double check there if we shout too loud. Well, first game in the books. Saw a lot of good things out there. Really, for the first part, I didn't see the 1-2-2. We went man-to-man, and Keyshawn Thomas was the load to start this thing off. Everybody did a nice job, but starting the ball game and coming up later until Ralph picked it up at the very end. But Thomas had quite the game.
He did. Keyshawn's our energy guy. I think he does it offensively. He's the guy that's going to battle. He might give up a couple inches inside, but where he lacks in height, he's making up for in heart. And you see him in the first quarter, and it's the same, if not more, energy in the fourth quarter. There's a minute and a half left, 2 minutes left, and he's diving on the ground for loose balls and getting up and sprinting back on the defensive end. He does a little bit of everything for us, and we have to be the team and will be that plays through him. He's not only does he bring that energy, but he's the best, one of the better passers that we have, and is very unselfish. And we didn't see it a ton tonight of us moving off the basketball, but that's something that we've done really good early on in the season, in our practices early on in the season. And Keyshawn's a big piece of that.
And of course, early you had him and Clay both with some fouls.
Yeah.
So you set them a lot of the second quarter, waited for the third quarter.
Yeah, it's when you're shifting and you're playing man-to-man defense. Now it's isolated. Now you're isolated, and there's no excuses. And I thought we did a poor job of keeping guys in front. You could say, and people will say, that's a very quick team that you played against. Yeah, they are, but that might be the middle of the road compared to some of the teams that we're going to face this year. So, it doesn't matter if it's our man defense or our zone defense. We have to have a little more pride in getting stops, and I thought we did at moments, throughout the game tonight. But got to be a little more consistent defensively.
Yeah, I thought Keyshawn set the tone.
Yeah.
In the first quarter, taking those 2 charges.
Yep.
And then, on the glass, I'm thinking 12, 14 boards, maybe.
He was
something
huge.
like that.
He was huge.
I thought he did a great job. I think the biggest thing that we take away from, tonight is, not having Longcore, not going to have him for a while. Your other players stepped up tonight.
Yeah.
And took care of business, which I think by the time he gets back, and with these guys getting more playing time and whatever, you guys are going to be dynamite second half of the season.
Yeah, it's not having Brad has been difficult, but it's forcing guys to play in playing roles that they haven't been used to playing in, and it's forcing our team and forcing guys to be a little more tougher. You can't just default and give Brad the ball and expect everything to go over well. And I've been really impressed with Brad all throughout this process. If he writes a book on how to handle, an injury and how to overcome an injury, it would be a bestseller around here. And high school athletes in general need to jump on that. But he's done anything and everything he can to get himself back. And hopefully he's back sooner rather than later.
Well,
but
I saw his energy on timeouts. He's the first one out there looking at guys going, okay, we got to do this, we got to do
whether
that.
he has the ball in his hands or he doesn't, he's one of our better leaders. And you could see that on the sideline, talking to guys, pulling guys aside, halftime doing the same thing. And, until he gets back, that's the most valuable thing that he can do, and he's taking advantage of it.
Yeah, it's great to have a coach actually as one of your players when he's on there, as smart as he is. I did see Brown and Clay, and then they got the jumping ability. And what they found was, boy, when you go to the basket with a couple guys who are quick jumpers, I know Dom came on that one, looked like he was going to throw it down, and it was like, no, you're not.
No, and really our transition defense was transition offense was okay. I thought we could have been better in some certain situations, pushing the ball up the floor. I mean, we got some opportunities in transition in the first half that we didn't have in the second half. But transition defense wasn't there, and they're getting a couple dunks off of us just not sprinting back, and getting to the paint. It seemed like we sprinted the half court, and then we opened up.
I was going to say, dunk, and we got like 3 dudes on this side of the half court. Like, no, we can't do that, guys.
Our energy and effort defensively all around it's got to be better if we want to compete with the schedule that we have this year.
And the nice thing is, as we come out, the scoreboard says, especially at the end when they got close within 3, we picked it up. W for the Devils. Get some sleep, turn around Tinley Park and Lanphier one at a time.
Yep, one at a time. That's our goal. And, again, we want to be better tomorrow than we were tonight and have an opportunity to do that tomorrow.
And if you don't get better, you get worse, right?
That's right.
You've got it in our head. Don't worry, we've got it these days. So, well, congratulations out there. Enjoy the leftovers tonight.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, and that was Coach Douglas there. And as we noticed, if you noticed on the headsets at all, we've got a third headset that we've got to turn phantom power up, and it gets hot quick. I mean, if you notice that, I was going up and down. But we thank Coach Douglas, and, of course, we also thank QHS Honda and QHS Hyundai. They sponsor our coaches' comments, and they'll be here all season long. So last thoughts, Coach?
Like I say, good victory tonight against a very good Chicago Phillips team. Playing without Longcore, I thought everybody else picked it up, especially Keyshawn. Keyshawn and Wires, did a very, very good job tonight. So good first victory. Let's come back and get another one tomorrow night.
And that was my last shout-out for the night as we're going to close up here. Jaden Smith came by, said hi to Coach, and then popped up to give a little wave to us as well. So it's time to pick our player of the game. 3 Devils are in the double figures. A complete team victory, but you pointed the right one I am. Keyshawn Thomas, he set the stage early, got in that first quarter with 7 points, took 2 Jeremiahs. For those, that's a charge when Jeremiah Talton was up here setting the records. But Isaiah came in with a late one, so Talton, so he got one as well. But then in that fourth quarter, picked it up again, 17 points for the game, and as you talked to Coach, possibly 14 maybe rebounds because he was
12 to 14 easy.
Closest there was Sprick because Sprick was all around as well. So biggest key on the whole night, 1-0.
Yep.
Well, for Coach Pettit, I'm Jeff Wellman. Hope you enjoyed MeccaSportsCo.com and Blue Devil basketball. We'll be back out here on Saturday night after we hit the pit tomorrow night for the girls and boys game. The final score one more time. The Quincy High Blue Devils 69, Wendell Phillips Academy out of Chicago 58. 1-0 for the Blue Devils. We'll see you out here Saturday night and, of course, Friday at the pit. Jeff Wellman for Dave Pettit saying good night, everybody.